Hello and welcome to the fifth video in this insurance advice series. My name is Paul de Klerk and I'm your insurance advisor based in Christchurch. In this video, we are going to talk about medical insurance. And I have found that this is a space where much confusion exists, especially around what private medical cover will and will not do for you. Many people even feel that private medical cover is not really necessary because the public health system in New Zealand is that good. Which it is, I won't argue that. But what I will do is just highlight those areas where the public health system might let you down and where private medical insurance can help. Now, the most important thing to remember is that the public health system in New Zealand, while it is very good, it does not always provide the most ideal treatment option available within a time frame that you need it. Good private medical cover can get you access to many more treatment options than what the public health system provides. Something to consider is that the New Zealand public health system does not provide access to every kind of treatment that is available. The public health system is funded through an agency called Pharmac, and it is their job to deliver the best health outcomes for New Zealanders by carefully prioritizing the government's investments in medicine. This is great, but the government only has so much money to spend on medicines, so certain choices need to be made. The long and short of it is that Pharmac cannot cover all treatments or drugs available because a lot of treatments and medicines are just too expensive. So whatever private medical company you choose, make sure that they will cover treatments and medicines that are not funded by Pharmac, because many insurance covers out there will not pay for something that Pharmac would not pay for either. The good news is that Partners Life will pay for non-Pharmac drugs. They are one of only a few insurers out there that will do this for you. Just about all other insurers have dramatic limitations on what non-Pharmac covers they will pay for. So what does this mean for you? It means that if you are sick, and I mean really sick, you might be dying, like a cancer or something, then if you have Partners Life Medical covering you and your children, you can look your doctors in the eye and tell them that you have access to funding to allow them to prescribe the new wonder drugs coming out of Europe, the drugs that have the best chance at saving your life. You've probably heard story after story in the news over the years of how long many people have had to wait to get certain treatments done through the public health system. There is a waiting list, and people with more urgent needs than you will almost always be ahead in the queue. Remember, there are only so many doctors in New Zealand, only so many hospital beds, so many MRI machines. The resources are limited, and access to those resources are not dished out on a first-come, first-served basis. No, they are dished out based on who is the most sick and the most urgent. Now, this is my opinion based on over 10 years of experience, and it goes against the grain of what I find most insurance advisors will say. Most advisors use this as a selling point, telling their clients that private medical cover would get you ahead of the queue and get you treated faster. In my opinion, this is not always the case. Like I said, there are only so many doctors, so many scanning machines. If you call a specialist and try to make an appointment, having private medical cover doesn't just magically get you ahead first in their diary. If the doctor's diary is full, then it's full. My wife was having some pretty severe medical strife in late 2020, and the earliest appointment we could get with any gastroenterologist in Christchurch was a 9-week wait. 9 weeks. So, in my opinion, private medical cover doesn't always get you in the door faster, but what it does do is get you the best treatment possible if you have the right insurer backing you. One last thing to note, and this is critically important to remember. Medical insurance policies are typically hospital plans. This means they provide access to hospital treatments and not out-of-hospital treatments. Out-of-hospital treatments can be things like physios, chiropractors, dentists, GPs, things like this. You can add cover for these things with some insurance providers, but just make sure that you read the fine print because there are usually severe limitations on how much they will actually pay for. So let's quickly go through 8 reasons why Partners Life medical cover is so good. My own medical cover for my whole family is with this insurer. And remember, I'm an insurance advisor. I can get cover literally anywhere. And Partners Life is the insurer that I chose to back my family. Here are just a few reasons why. Let's first start with the most important reason, how they independently rank compared to other medical insurers in New Zealand. So for this, let's go over to QPR Research once again. These are the guys and girls out there that research all the different insurers out there, and they score them based on their benefits. The higher the score, the more you are covered for. So who do we have here? We have Accuro, AIA, Fidelity, NIB, Partners Life, Southern Cross, and Unimed. And these are all their premier plans. You know, some of them have more than one plan. They are comparing their premier ultimate plans. Now you will notice Partners Life once again ranks number 1 in New Zealand. This means that they cover you for the most things. It doesn't mean that they're number 1 in premium or something like this. It's just that you have the most chance of being able to be met with a claim when you're with Partners Life. But just now, there are a lot of numbers here. Let's just go through some of the details of the most important things. Number 1, non-pharmac drugs. You will see that Partners Life and Accuro offers some of the best non-pharmac drug covers. But now here is one of the most important things as well. Guaranteed wordings. Accuro doesn't offer it. AIA, no. Fidelity and NIB, no. Southern Cross and Unimed, no guaranteed wordings. The only ones who are offering it are NIB and Partners Life. What does guaranteed wording means? It means that they guarantee that the benefits you have today are the same benefits that you will have forever. They will never take benefits away from you. So with all those insurers out there that do not offer guaranteed wordings, they've basically reserved the right to take away benefits from you. So what does this mean? This means that you can hold your policy for a few years, and then a few years later you want to submit a claim with Accuro or AIA or Southern Cross or Unimed, whoever it is, and the risk is that they might say, oh no, we stopped covering that a few years ago. So each year in the mail, you get a new policy in the mail, and you'll have to see, is there anything in there that they do not cover anymore? This will never happen with Partners Life. They've guaranteed their wordings that what you have today, you will always have, but they can actually improve as well. By improve, I mean they can upgrade their policy wording, and it can get better and better each year. That can very often be passed on to you. They upgrade their policy wordings to make their coverage better. So moving on, I just spoke about how their product wording is guaranteed. Also, surgical treatment, $600,000 maximum per person per year is provided for surgical treatments and non-surgical treatments. That is staggeringly high. So if you need surgeries out there, $600,000 available is a lot of money. Non-surgical treatments as well, $600,000 is staggeringly high. Their funding for non-pharmac drugs is the most comprehensive available in New Zealand that I can find. If you have a heart attack, a stroke, coronary artery surgery, or critical cancer, the excess is waived. And yes, you have a choice of excess on the hospital plan with Partners Life. The higher the excess, the cheaper the premium is. The excess means you pay the first bit of money, and then that will be the excess, and Partners Life will pay the rest of the invoice that is approved. Partners Life does not exclude treatments for allergies, renal dialysis, weight loss surgery, breast reduction surgery, and some other things that are very often excluded with other insurers. And lastly, a very sexy thing, deep discounts apply when adding life insurance with the medical cover rather than having the medical cover just by itself. Okay, so let's get to the part you've probably been waiting for. Let's do some premium comparisons. We already know through independent research that Partners Life has the best coverage available, but how do they stack up with their premiums? It's one thing to have really awesome benefits, but will they charge you an arm and a leg for those benefits? You're going to be so surprised. For the sake of time, I'm going to focus on comparing the premiums of Partners Life against AIA and Southern Cross plans, just because they are the insurers I seem to come across the most when clients reach out to me for help. And remember, I want to compare apples with apples, so I'm going to be choosing the AIA and Southern Cross Premier plans with their most comprehensive coverage. That way, it'll be a fair comparison. Okay, let's start off with Southern Cross. You'll be able to find this and do this for yourself on their website, southerncross.co.nz. You'll see a health insurance button. Click on that, and then just scroll down. You'll see get an easy quote button. Click on this, and they'll have a couple of questions for you. I'm going to make it for myself and my wife. I'm 42 years old, male, non-smoker. I'm going to say my wife is 42 years old, female, non-smoker. We want their surgical and cancer plan and their comprehensive plan. So let's click View. Here's a list of all their plans. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plans. So the premium Ultra Care plan will be $141 a fortnight. Let's look at the monthly premiums. $413 a month. That includes premium surgical, healthcare, and day-to-day treatment plans, including for cancer, limited surgical treatment, and so on and so forth. Let's look at some of the benefits. Chemotherapy for cancer. $60,000 per claims year. That's not a lot if you think about it. It includes $10,000 per claims year for non-pharmac approved MedSafe indicated chemotherapy drugs. So non-pharmac cover is only there for cancer, it seems, and $10,000 for a claims year, it's nothing if you consider the cost of these drugs. One thing to note though, scrolling down, you would see that they do have day-to-day cover in there as well. Those will be things like dentists and GPs and so forth. Let's get the details. So for GP consults, $100 per visit. You've got some physios and dietitians and osteopaths. Those are things that are not offered with the AIA and the Partners Life plan. So something to keep in mind to compare apples with apples. They've got that day-to-day cover. But next, let's go on to AIA's quote builder. I've got myself, male, non-smoker, 42 years old. Same for my wife, 42, housewife, non-business owner. I just put in some details here to see what they will come in at. And let's just click their details now. Let's put in some life cover for this one. And let's go to the healthcare, the private health, the cover plus. And let's do the same thing for my wife, Christelle. Let's add on some life cover and the medical plan. $250 excess applies. Calculate. Now remember, AIA does rank and independently score better in their coverage than what Southern Cross does. Their plan, $312 a month. A lot better than the $413 per month for the Southern Cross plan. However, they did include the day-to-day cover, the dentists and GPs and so forth, but it does cost a lot of extra money to get that benefit. $312 a month. We haven't even included kids, of course. That's for the 2 adults. Finally, let's go to Partners Life and see how do they stack up. We've got the same details. Paul de Klerk, 42 years old, non-smoker. Same for my wife as a housewife. Let's add on some life cover, some medical, and some specialists and tests. $100,000 of life and a $250 excess. For Christelle, let's do the same. What do you think the premium will come to? $413 a month with Southern Cross, $312 a month with AIA, $248 per month. Staggeringly different. Independently verified as well to be the #1 coverage in New Zealand. You can't get more benefits anywhere else that I can find, and even still, they are the cheapest out of the 3. It's well worth reaching out to me with your own personal details so that I can quote the same for you based on your date of birth, occupations, and things like this. Click the button below this and ask me for a quote. Happy to fire one through to you, no obligation. Alright, I think that's enough for this video, but please remember that there are brochures and policy wordings. The links are underneath this video. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook or social media, be sure to check out pauldeklerk.co.nz and you can find all of those brochures and policy wordings and links inside the website. And as always, I'm always here. Reach out to me anytime and I'll email you back as soon as I can, especially if you want your own quote or if you have any questions. Reach out to me. Always happy to help. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm going to end it there. Looking forward to hearing from you. Bye.